Good morning. Turns out I am an animal of habit. Got my lunch packed and had a little bit of time left. So I grabbed my camera rig and I said, let me throw one out there. When you have that feeling that you're forgetting something. Sometimes I get that when I go out the door on my way to work. I'm sure you've experienced, we all have. But that's what I was beginning to experience. So this will be episode 64. And initially, I was only going to do these on the weekdays. But then I started doing them on the weekends. And now it's just every morning. I throw my rig up and give, I don't know what this is called, a talk, a morning update, a cup of coffee with Joe, rambling with Joe. So, you guys are stuck with me for an extra episode. I promise I won't do more than one a day normally. This is putting a little bit of time crunch on me, but I was gonna not feel right, so I'm doing it. This is my warm up. Normally, I like to take my time when I'm drinking my coffee, but on days like today, I'm not powering it down, but I'm definitely drinking it a little bit quicker. Still enjoying it, but I'll drink it while I make my coffee. While I make my lunch. I can't drink my coffee while I make my coffee. I think that's kind of the Bristow equivalent of having your cake and eating it too. Anyway, have to do the coffee and get my lunch ready and put my shoes on and all that stuff. Combine things. So that's what I'll do. I had a topic to talk about, but I cannot remember it. Doesn't surprise me. I've got a lot of irons in the fire. Gonna finish up the floor this weekend. If the wife feels better, she's not feeling great. My brother is a blessing, and my niece and my nephew. Family is a blessing. They've been helping me. And I always intend, hey little girl, I always intend to work on this after work, but after work I am so worn out lately. I don't know if it's age or just being sorry or what, but I come home and I'm just toast. And I'm sure that is a bad habit. So that's a bad habit that I'm going to have to break. And I will break that habit. I had a bad dietary habit as well. I've lost quite a bit of weight. That was what the topic was. Drawing on inspiration from those around you who may not be aware of it. So, I got really big. I got the this career path that I chose. I developed some horrible habits. When I was over the road, to stay awake, to get me through the day, this was before there was anything like a podcast. So you'd go down the road, and as you pass from city to city, especially in the daytime, at nighttime you could turn into AM radio, but during the daytime, city to city, you'd have to find another radio station. So you never really got good entertainment while you drove. Now, this may not be a problem for some people. For me, it was a problem. I needed the distraction of the mundaneness of the interstate to keep myself occupied and alert. Seems counterintuitive. Now, when I came into the cities, the larger cities, the radio went off. Still does. When things get hectic, the radio goes off. That is called the quiet cabin technique. I think it's quiet cabin technique. It may be quiet cockpit technique because it comes from the aerospace industry. When things get serious in the air, the pilots turn all their attention toward their instruments and the job at hand. And that is supposed to carry over into the trucking industry. How much it does, I'm not sure. But that's the quiet cockpit technique or quiet cabin technique. And I learned that early on in trucking. But on those long, you go to Texas, you get on I-10 or I-20 until it hits I-10 in Texas, and that is a long, boring strip of road. It is, I got allergies. It is just phenomenally boring. So you have to have entertainment. And that goes for most of the interstate systems. Fantastic, valuable system, but quite boring. So I had to have entertainment. My entertainment eventually would become podcasting. Keith and the Girl, Adam Curry. These are some of the early ones that I used to listen to. I don't listen to either one of those anymore. But eventually it evolved. And let's not forget Drew. Or let's do forget rather. It might come to me later. But that was one of the very earliest. I kind of went through the evolution of podcasting in trucking. So there was a lot of time. And yeah, just thinking about some of those old podcasts I used to listen to and how the production value was probably higher than this, but not exactly what I'd call a high production value, but very entertaining. So the keeping that attention, that quality of mindfulness oftentimes takes a lot of input to keep me alert. Now when it's a stressful situation, I don't need that input. I don't need that entertainment. Usually it was a book or a podcast, something I could learn from. And I could draw some inspiration from. And unfortunately, I fell into the habit of when I started to get tired, I'd have something with sugar in it. Candy bar, cup of coffee with sugar in it, and caffeine. And that led to a horrible lifestyle, a horrible health situation. And I had to lose the weight. And it's taking me a long time to get down, and I'm still not where I need to be, but it's taken me a long time to get down to where I'm at now. Still have about 20 pounds to go, but this is down from nearly 300 pounds. I think at my heaviest, I was just over 300. Now I've got 20 pounds to go to get to where I want to be, which is 195. They say it's the hardest. I don't know if I'll ever get there. There's a lot of loose skin because, that's what happens when you lose a lot of weight, but I don't know if I can get there without having that skin removed. I don't care. I feel much better. It doesn't hurt to walk upstairs. It doesn't hurt to walk anywhere. It's a good feeling. my wife. She was the motivation for me to lose the weight, and still is. There's this guy on Facebook that I followed, and he lost a bunch of weight. And I followed him and watched him do that. And thanks, Curtis. And Curtis really, I'm sorry, his name's not Curtis, his name is Ron. Ron Curtis. Thank you, sir. I didn't comment a lot on it, on his journey, but I watched and I listened. So when it came time for me to take this journey of my own to the next step, I drew on him. Mostly I drew on my wife, who is just incredibly intelligent and did a lot of research and set me on the road to recovery. And this was supposed to be a short one today. I got about 20 minutes before I have to hit the road. So she set me on the right road. But anytime I doubted that it was working, because it was very similar to Ron's journey, I would remember that he did what he did. And you take inspiration from those people around you. If the people around you are not inspiring you, you need to check and make sure they're not pulling you down. Now, Ron and I don't have a personal relationship per se. It's just Facebook, strictly Facebook. I've met him. I met him at some motorcycle rallies called T-Mac. Nice guy, super nice guy. But we're not friends. Not apart from the Facebook friends. But I did take inspiration from the man. And again, thank you. And I doubt he knew that. If he watches this, he'll know it. So, life's like that. Our environment affects us. Our environment affects us. The people around us are the largest component of that environment. I talk to one guy at work a lot. Super nice guy. Mostly a positive guy. We all have our ups and downs. And if he was a negative guy, I would not answer my phone or dial that number nearly as often. So, dialing a number is something that you do when you want to call somebody, in case the new generation doesn't know what that means, because now all you do is either tell her who shall not be said on the podcast what to do, or you just choose a name because you already programmed the name in. I can see dialing going out of the vernacular of our language. And it's like roll-up windows in cars, or telephones with rotary dials. I can see all this going away. Putting on my socks. It's funny how language evolves, and as you age, you start to see more and more of that. More and more of that evolution. You start witnessing it. And start understanding that that's happening. But inspiration. Are we drawing inspiration from those around us? Are we inspiring those around us to do better for themselves or for others? Is our family inspiring us? It's hard to let go of family. Sometimes you have to. Sometimes family relationships become more distant than the relationships of the past. I hope when I'm gone, people will look back and say, he did okay. He did what needed to be done to help his family, his community, and those around him. I hope. I certainly hope that when they look back, they don't call me derogatory names. Well, I'm sure there are those that will call me derogatory names. I mean, they call me those things on the daily now because that's how men show affection for each other, because we're afraid of affection. It is a strange topic today. I don't know how I'm going to classify this one. I did the video last night in case I didn't have time to do one today. It is 6 o'clock. I have to be at work at 7. I know I said that's early, but it's early for me. My actual time for most days at work is 9. It is a strange podcast today. But what's not strange is this delicious cup of coffee. That is very good coffee. I made it a little extra strong today. Oh, by the way, I did get a good night's sleep. I'm not sure exactly how long I slept, but I did not get up until my alarm went off at 5 o'clock. That's nice. That as you age, as you get older, something for you young folks to look forward to, sleep becomes something that's a little bit more hard to attain. But I got it last night. I thought I might, so I made that podcast, and then I got up. Life is good. It is Friday. The weekend is upon us. I hope the wife feels better. We have a lot of stuff to do. If she doesn't feel better, I will do stuff and she can convalesce. And I will be her nursemaid. That is for better or worse. And mostly it's better. Sometimes it's worse. Sometimes a guy like me puts my foot in my mouth and says something like, if I hadn't found her, would I have found another soulmate? Definitely the wrong thing to say. When she saw the video, she sent me a message. And she wasn't really upset, but she was definitely giving me a hard time. I deserved it. She is my soulmate. I will behave. I am truly happy and blessed that she is in my life. And if you're with your soulmate, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Folks, my friends, have a great Friday. Have a good weekend. And I will see... Oh, have a good cup of coffee. And find some peace, some love, and definitely find a way to dream. Until next time, I bid you adieu.